Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. We are doing a weekly reading today. We've got the lovely Tara Lenormand, and we are going to be doing a line of 7. So let's go ahead and start with you, Aries. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what's ahead for you this week. Okay, Aries, here is your line of 7. We have lots of pretty cards, mainly the Clover and Key. The Child and Heart are also really pretty. And notice that we have the Man in the middle, which points to a relationship or a person. So it's very clear what's going on here. This could be a new connection, a new chapter with a connection that you already have, and it looks really bright. So with the Child and Stork, this is clearly a new beginning. There's a new activity or a new opportunity to meet this person, which we see here with the Clover and Man. So right from the get-go, it's very clear what's going on. There's a new relationship and it's looking really bright. Now, I have to say, Aries, that the Child and Stork is the classic combination for pregnancy. So if you're seeking to have a family or grow your family, or if you work with children in some way or another, this person could come into the picture to support this, or perhaps this is your partner and you're looking to have a family or grow one. This is a bit more specific, but it could still apply to some of you Aries out there. Now, the Key, Garden, and Heart, this is another very clear triplet, Aries. This is a meeting or a get-together because the Garden is a card of community and people and places. And with the Key and Heart, this could be a date or a happy celebration or a wonderful opportunity to get together with this person. So your line is really clear. It's very much about meeting with this person, getting together with them, and it can point to a new relationship or a new opportunity with them. The Clover and Key is a lovely pair. Wonderful luck, wonderful success, all around positive outcomes, really, any way you look at them and in any context. The Stork and Garden is very much about going out, activities, getting together and doing things together, because it is an active card and the Garden is outward. So it's very clear here, especially with regards to a relationship. And the Child and Heart is a wonderful new feeling. It could be a new love, a new connection. So these are really lovely cards, very easy to read, Aries. Clearly, they circle around this person and a new relationship with this person and some activities. So definitely make time for this person this week, Aries. Get together, meet with them, and spend time with them. Now, I do not see from the cards if you are the one who's taking the initiative to invite them or if they invite you. I think it could go both ways or either way. But in all cases, it's lovely for this relationship and for spending time with this person. And also, Aries, the cards are flexible in terms of context. This could be a personal relationship, a friendship, maybe a family relationship or a colleague at work. It could be a customer or someone who's going to offer you some kind of service to support you in some area. Really, the context is totally flexible, but the idea is that this is a wonderful supportive relationship and it's looking like it's going to pick up really well. So I certainly hope this materializes for you, Aries. Let me know in the comments how it played out and who this person is. As always, I look forward to your feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your line of 7 and it's looking really bright. We have the clover and the flowers in the line, and we have the fish, which is the card of money, and by extension, it is the card of work, business, and often an entrepreneurial spirit. Now, we do have the mouse, which is a little bit challenging, but because of the flowers next to it, there's going to be a recovery. And also, Taurus, the mouse in general is not that challenging. It's just small issues that come up. So let's back up here to the beginning of the line. We've got the Stork, Clover, and Ring into the house. These are some activities around a relationship or a connection or a certain environment that you're part of. And the Clover being a very lucky card, it's definitely a good idea, Taurus, to get together with these people, to meet with this person, to visit, to explore, and to engage, really, because it looks like it's going to pay off. Now, the fish is the card of money, so with the house and the earlier cards, we could be looking at your work situation. It could also be something financial or in relation to your projects or your business or your side business. And so this could be part of what engages you and what you're excited about. The mouse with the fish, though, can point to some losses or expenses, but like I said, the flowers helps you recover this. So any issues here or losses or waste or something that was negative in regards to your money mainly is going to be recovered. And I also think, Taurus, that perhaps the whole purpose of meeting with this person, these people, is to improve this situation, to recover what could have been lost or what struggles you were facing. So it's really nice to see the flowers at the end of the line. Something else that comes to mind is, I wonder if Taurus, for some of you Taurans out there, maybe you're looking at doing things around the home. Maybe you're looking at renovating or improving something. It could also be in relation to perhaps your expenses, your home expenses, like your mortgage or other things. And with the mouse and flowers, you could look for an opportunity to save or to improve the financial aspect in relation to your home or in relation to this space. So any way you look at the cards, they are really bright and help with a recovery and an improvement. The ring and fish can point to a business deal, your income, and it can also point to expenses. Also, by themselves, though, they're not challenging. But because we have the mouse next to the fish, it could be that recurring cost, like we were saying earlier, and maybe you're looking to improve this. The clover and mouse is lovely because it confirms that you're going to be able to recover the issues here. And the stork and flowers is another lovely combination for success and celebration and a positive recovery. So this is a really nice line, Taurus, confirming that whatever issues you're going through, you'll be able to overcome them and recover from them. It looks like these issues are related to something financial or practical. It can be also work-related or business-related. And we see here that you've got an opportunity to improve on it, to recover from this and to re-engage in a really positive way. So a really nice set of cards here. And although the fish is mainly focused on money, I do think also, Taurus, that the cards are positive in other contexts. So in terms of relationships, for example, there could be maybe some disagreement, possibly in connection with money or something practical, but it's clear that you're able to recover from this situation, whatever it is. So really nice cards, a lovely time to engage and to take positive action. And also, Taurus, if this means you connect with others who could support, you consult with others who could have some insight, then definitely do this because you can improve this, you can recover from it, and you can re-engage in a really positive way. So lovely set of cards. I certainly hope it plays out for you in this positive way. Let me know what you made of this, Taurus. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Gemini, here is a really interesting line. We have some bright cards, especially the sun, which is one of the brightest cards of the deck. And we have the tree at the top, which is lovely for growth and healing. And what stands out is the scythe and sun. So this could be a breakthrough, a major opportunity, or some kind of liberation here. So let's back up to the beginning of the line. We've got the garden, stork, and house. And I have to say this could be a move. Perhaps some of you are moving. And then we have the scythe at the end of the line, which is also a sharp card for separation and release. So perhaps some of you Geminis out there are moving. But this is also a great combination for activity and getting busy and getting things done. And with the tree, which is a bit of a slower pace than the stork, you could find yourself in a solid foundation out of which you can grow. So maybe this is an adjustment week where you're making some exciting changes, and this will create a space out of which you can grow again, Gemini. Certainly focus on improving things so that you can continue with your growth and your progress. Now, the Fox is an interesting card in this context. It can mean deception. It can point to selfish types and self-interested people. But my feeling, Gemini, is that the other meaning of the Fox is coming through more clearly here. The Fox is also a card of jobs, a card of work and productivity. It's very good at being disciplined and at sticking with a routine. So when I see it with the tree, especially with the lovely sun, it's very clear that you're going to be active and you're going to be pursuing the disciplines and the things and doing the tasks that are going to help you grow. And with the sun, there's definitely a message of achievement, and the scythe being a breakthrough. With the sun, it's clear that you are going to achieve your goals. So this is looking like a busy week, even though we have the tree in the middle, which tends to be a more peaceful energy. Now, the House and Fox can point to your job, your work, your routine, your disciplines, and there is a focus on this. The Fox can also be that card of people representing those tricky types. So maybe in this environment, there is someone whom you need to deal with a bit more caution. But I have to say, Gemini, that if that's the case, I'm not seeing issues, because we have the lovely sun and scythe. So this is not going to be an issue. And again, my feeling is that this is more about your work, your discipline, getting things done, checking things off your list. The Stork and Sun is a beautiful combination for success and freedom and liberation. And then the Garden and Scythe is usually about parting and separating from a certain environment. So maybe what you're doing here is going to liberate you, and you're going to finish something, and then you're going to be free to go off and do your own thing. So for example, on the job, maybe you're working towards a task, wrapping it up and taking a break. If it's about something you're doing for yourself, like your projects or things you work on the daily, then you're going to wrap them up and you're going to take a break as well. So really nice cards. And the idea, Gemini, is really to remain focused, to be willing to adjust so that you can be tightly aligned with your goals, achieve your goals, and enjoy the freedom that comes from wrapping up these tasks. Really nice cards. And I would say they apply in any context, whether you have a job or you work elsewhere or you work for yourself or you're doing something else with your time. These are great cards for getting things done and achieving them. Let me know what you make of this, Gemini. I certainly hope the cards resonate with you in this positive way. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Cancer, here is your line of 7, and it's looking lovely. I know the cards might not all stand out as lovely and bright, but we have the star right in the middle, and we have travel cards. So whether you are traveling or not, it sounds like this is a week for taking a break and going off and doing something, especially since we have the scythe in the line. Now, backing up here, we have the Stork, House, and Scythe. And I have to say, Cancer, this is a very tight combination for a move. So perhaps for some of you Cancers, you're moving or you're going somewhere. The star is lovely, especially at the top and the middle. It is a card of wish fulfillment, and it's one of the brightest cards of the spread of the deck. And so this could be something that you desire. There is a sense of liberation and freedom. The Tower with the road and mountain can be a return to a place abroad or a place from the past. It could be maybe you're back home or your roots or your family in another location. And so this is a week when you can take a break and let go and go travel. And if it's not about reconnecting with certain people, it could be about you going off on your own. And in fact, this is quite probable, Cancer, because we have both the Tower and Mountain, and both of these cards are associated with a sense of solitude. And the road is a card of adventure and exploring. So I think you could really take a break for yourself, Cancer, and go off and go places, go get some inspiration. Maybe that's what you need. The Scythe and Tower is very much a release, usually from the past, but I also think maybe from your work, your duties, because the Tower is a card of official things. So it could be a reference to your job or your responsibilities and the more serious aspects of your life. The House and Road is another message for leaving, going somewhere, especially in this order. And the Stork and Mountain, here's another one. This is about going abroad, going places, and moving again. So we're seeing very clear cards of movement with the star in the middle. It's about healing, taking time out for yourself, and having a good time. So it's very clear, Cancer, that this week is for a break, or for taking time out, or for at least creating a distance between you and your normal surrounding. You need adventure. You need to go off. You need to wander a little bit, and the star really gives that sense of inspiration. So if you could do this, Cancer, that would be great. At least find a day or two in the week to take time out for yourself. Whether you go somewhere far or not, it doesn't matter. What matters most is that, that disconnecting that we're seeing clearly in the cards. Now, in another sense, Cancer, you could have achieved something major, and this gives you like a timeout. So on the job, maybe you've achieved something big, or in your work, or in your projects, in your hobbies. There is a sense of fulfillment here, deep fulfillment that creates a sense of liberation. So I really hope you have time for this. I want to encourage you, Cancer, to make room for this. This is quite a special line, and you could really tap into your inspiration and give yourself room to breathe and explore and enjoy some kind of time out and liberation for yourself. What a lovely set of cards. Let me know what you make of them, Cancer. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Leo. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Leo, this is an awesome line. The readings so far are looking great this week, folks. God knows we really need this positive turn of events. Let's see when we wrap up with Pisces. So Leo, this is a lovely set of cards. We have the clover in the middle, the key and tree. This is a very powerful combination. And on top of this, we have the sun at the beginning. The sun is one of the brightest cards of the whole deck. Now we have the snake in here. And yes, the snake can be a challenging card. When it's challenging, it's a card of deception, and it can be quite toxic. In relationships, it's a card of cheating. But let me tell you, in this line, I really think it has nothing to do with this. Instead, the very smart side of the snake comes through. And also this element of secrecy, of silence is coming through because we have it with the book. And the book is a card of the unknown. It's usually closed, and you might be inspired by the illustration. For me, it depends on the combinations. So when we see these cards together, it looks like you're going to get your hands on some really good information, and this is potentially a breakthrough. So let's back up. We have the Sun and Book, which is a card of knowledge and insight, if not outright enlightenment. So these are great cards for having really good knowledge and also for being skilled and educated. Now, the snake is a card of secrecy, especially when it comes with the book. So it seems to me, Leo, that you're going to get your hands on some pretty juicy information, and that's going to give you an advantage. And we cannot not see this advantage. Clover, key, and tree, like really, this is all around luck. And the key and tree is about achieving a very important goal. So you definitely have the upper hand in this situation. You've got the advantage. You're going to find out something that's going to be very significant to you, and it's definitely a key ingredient into achieving something pretty significant. At the end of the line, we have the Tower. The Tower can take on a few different meanings here. It is the card of the long-term future. So this could be achieving a goal for a long distance path that you're on. And the Tower can also be about administration, legal, some official things. So you could get an approval, you could get something that you want. The authorities here could be in your favor, or you could achieve this thing that you're after, and it's completed in your favor. In terms of work or things that you're after, you could get something like a promotion, you could get a major step up in some area of your life. So really nice cards. Now the Snake and Key is a lovely combination for knowing exactly what you want and for getting it. And the thing about the Snake, Leo, is that it is a card of the indirect. So the way, or the best way to approach this, is with discretion and in this roundabout way. So if you're going to do this cleverly, you're going to achieve your goals. The Book and Tree is great for knowledge, it's great for wisdom, and it's also great for building on your skills. You could come across as an expert, I have to say. The Tower really helps with that, because the Tower is a card of experts and, those people who are specialized. So you could find yourself heading in this direction or having achieved that. The Sun and Tower is lovely for a long patch of good luck. So it's not just luck this week or luck in the short term or this happiness unfolding. It's going to be with you for a while to come. So really nice cards, Leo. You're going to get your hands on some critical information. You're going to find a way to get what you want. And I think you know exactly what you want, and you're going to achieve it. So really nice cards, very empowering. Of course, there is that element of discretion. We have quieter cards with the Book, Snake, and Tower and Tree, but you've got the upper hand on this, so you're like quietly shining. And also, Leo, the cards can apply in different contexts. This could be a promotion at work. It could be some advantage in maybe a legal situation or an administrative situation. It could be that you graduate. It could be that you've got some powerful information, that you are promoted, that you are an expert or seen as such. So these are really nice cards regardless of the context. I have to say, though, that I'm not seeing relationships. I don't think this is about people. This is more about you and your direction and your achievement and your sense of self, really. There is that empowerment that we're seeing. So really nice cards. I certainly hope you resonate with them in this lovely way. Let me know how it played out for you, Leo. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Virgo, here is your line of 7, and it looks like you've got the good news coming, and this is potentially a significant breakthrough. Because of the Scythe and Bear, this could be a big deal. And earlier we have the Coffin, which probably means that you'd been waiting on it, or maybe you'd been away, but you're back in the game and this news is going to come through. So backing up here, we've got the House, Coffin, and Clover. And again, I think that this was a waiting time, or maybe someone was away or you were away. And the thing about the Clover is that it's a good thing. Maybe this gave enough time for things to materialize in the way that you want. The Key is lovely for all-around success, and we see it with the Letter and Clover. And so this lovely triplet here at the top, very positive. The Scythe and Letter points to sudden news usually. It has that energy of a breakthrough or something sudden. And the Bear, which makes everything big and important, can mean that this is a significant breakthrough. But also, Virgo, the Bear is sometimes associated with people, and usually in that sense, it points to someone like a boss or a manager, someone of influence, of authority. So my feeling is that you could break away from someone who could have been a bit dominant or maybe you're moving jobs, or you're parting, separating from this person or this situation. And clearly, because of the lovely clover and key, it is something that you want. So these are some really nice cards that liberate you and that empower you and that create this breakthrough for you. The clover and letter is very positive news. Look at this one, the coffin and scythe. This is the combination of a death, usually. Of course, I don't read it this way. 2 cards is not enough for something like that. Plus, what are the chances of it happening? So the coffin and scythe is very much about an ending. And this could be a major week, I have to say, Virgo, where you're able to leave, make a big change, announce a separation. And the house and bear can represent someone like a boss, a parent. The house and bear are actually parents. And so regardless of who the bear is in this house context, I think you're going to be breaking away from it. You could move, you could leave, you could resign, you could make a powerful change. And this is what you had been waiting for. And hopefully within this week, it materializes. So in terms of context, the cards are flexible. Like I said, it could be home related. Maybe you're moving. It could be leaving from a relationship, which gives you that freedom. It could be moving jobs. It could be breaking off a certain connection in whatever area of your life. But whatever it is, there is an element of liberation, and the very good news comes. And I think this is the news that gives you the green light to make a break and to take a break. So really nice cards here. Hopefully they materialize for you, Virgo, and you're able to get out of whatever situation you are in, whether it's temporarily or forever. You know, this is a week for a turnaround and for getting that opportunity to break away that you had been waiting for. So let me know how this plays out for you, Virgo. I certainly look forward to your thoughts about this. It's quite a big deal, really, for a weekly reading, but hey, it's going to happen at some point, so maybe this week is the week. So let me know how it plays out. Thank you for tuning in. Very best of luck, and until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Libra. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7, and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Libra, here is your line of 7. It's quite an interesting line because of the snake and whip on either side of the key. The snake and whip are both challenging cards, but the key is a very bright card that brings solutions. So we'll see how this plays out. Earlier, we have the woman and child, which can point to a new connection or a new relationship. And sometimes the child with a person card can represent someone with children. That's a less likely possibility. But the woman and child as a new relationship points to someone who's quite supportive because we have the Tower and Anchor afterwards. Now, they're not very warm cards, but they do point to someone who is supportive, whom you can rely on. And the thing about the Tower is that it is a card of experts and expertise. And with the Anchor, I feel this person can give you a lot of support. So I think here, Libra, you might want to look for someone you can trust, someone whom you feel knows what they're talking about, whom you can rely on for what you're after. And I think once this happens with the snake and whip, Libra, my feeling is that you will move away from someone or something that is not supportive and instead focus on this new person here. And the thing about the key is that it is a card of success, and it does support you with making this change. And it encourages you with the idea that it would be the right thing to do to move away from anyone or anything that you feel you can't trust or you can't rely on, and instead rely on this new person here. Now, the Tower and Snake is a card of a combination of discretion. It certainly calls on you to use a discreet approach and likely also an indirect approach to try and find your way around this person and around this situation. The Child and Key is really bright for a new beginning, and it is another message that you are right to look in a different direction. And the woman and whip points to the separation that we saw earlier here. So the woman in this part is not the same as the woman in this bottom combination. And it is a confirmation that you ought to focus or find someone else, Virgo, to help you with whatever it is you're after here and make a change, move away from the source or the person or the situation that isn't supportive. I have to say, Libra, that the context is quite flexible. It can be a relationship matter. It could be a personal thing. And it could be something that's more practical or work-related or that's not personal, as it were. So in that sense, it is flexible. But I think because of the Tower and the cards aren't really warm, you know, it's not about a close relationship. It seems to be more focused on your practical things. Now, let's take a couple of areas just to talk through it further. In terms of work, you could land a new job. That is possible. You could also get a promotion. And, if this is what you're doing, if this is what's happening with you, Libra, I have to warn against maybe some envious types. It's possible. You could also be working through something procedural or administrative or legal and things like that. And if that's the case, I think you need a better source of information. And you need to move away from people who are not reliable. So I think this is a really good step forward. Libra, instead of staying stuck with someone or something that is not insightful, that is not expert, you need to make a change at this point. And we certainly see this through the key and whip. Now, in terms of a personal relationship, the cards can be a bit heavier, and they can point to a new relationship. I can't rule out a breakup. A breakup is possible because of the woman and whip and because of the woman and child. That too is possible. Now, sometimes the Tower represents the past, and if that's the case, again, we're seeing this idea of turning the page and moving in a different direction. So overall, Libra, it might look a little bit challenging, and it would be if this is a personal relationship or a more personal situation. But in other contexts, the cards are actually bright because they help you redirect yourself to a more reliable source, a more expert source or person, so that you can solve your problems. And when it comes to solving your problems, I think we're seeing a mixed bag of approaches because we have the snake and whip, and they're kind of opposite. The snake is very silent. The whip is very a bit more confrontational. And so there could be different approaches here that you're using. But certainly with the anchor, snake, and key, they encourage you to focus on your goals and on finding solutions. So don't be discouraged if you feel stuck with someone who's not offering you answers. You need to make a change and find someone who does. So let me know what you make of this, Libra. This is quite an interesting set of cards, quite unique, really. I look forward to how they resonated with you, and I always look forward to reading your comments. So very best of luck with the week. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Scorpio, here is your line of 7. It's a little bit challenging, but it looks like you agree with the other person, and the situation remains on track. So it's very clear what's happening. The cards are kind of straightforward in the story they tell. In the beginning here, in the first half of the line, including the clouds in the middle, we have a couple of challenging cards on either side of the dog. We have the whip and mouse, and then the clouds. So these are challenging cards. They point to disagreements, fallouts. They point to doubts and issues like that come up. And the dog is a card of friends, so it's clear that it's about a person, whether it's a friend proper or a colleague, a sibling, or someone else in your life. And so there's an issue here with this person. That is very clear. And the clouds really brings this element of confusion, and you could be thinking about this and you're not sure how to deal with it. But the answer is in the other half of the line, gladly. We have the garden with the tower and anchor. So the garden is a card of people, places, and it often points to a gathering or a meeting. So it's very clear that in order to clear the air and clarify the situation, you need to meet with this person. The Tower and Anchor can mean a couple of things. The Tower can further represent this location element. It can point to a business, usually bigger, more prestigious kind of organizations. It could be something government related or administration related. And it can also point to something from the past or some place from the past. And the Anchor being a card of really being solid, it is a card of conclusion and arriving at an understanding. So it does represent something like the bottom line in this situation. And because of this meeting that happens after the issues here, it's pretty clear, Scorpio, that you're going to arrive at a positive conclusion, or at least at an understanding with this person. So I really think you're going to end up on the same page, but you need to make the effort to clarify this, and it's probably going to happen through a meeting. Now, the Mouse and Garden is, sort of confirming the issues here because it points to issues and problems. The Mouse is not very challenging. It's not as challenging as the Whip, but it points to these little doubts, these issues, and these little bumps here and there. And so it's probable that when you get together with this person, it's not going to feel the brightest of, it's not going to have the brightest of energies, but thanks to the Anchor, you will arrive at a conclusion. The Dog and Tower can be someone from the past or someone in this organization or situation that helps. It could be the same person. It could be someone else, maybe a mediator. And the idea is really to reconnect with this person. And the Whip and Anchor, despite the challenges of the Whip, Scorpio, is a reassuring combination because we have the Anchor on the other side of the Whip. So it's really this order of the cards that is helpful. And it points to arriving at that conclusion after that challenge or the disagreement. And also, the Whip and Anchor are very good at giving you a solid, stable foundation. And it is a combination that encourages you to not back down and stand your ground. So though you want to patch things up and you want to be on the same page with this person, I'm not saying that you're going to have to compromise much, Scorpio. It's very much about guarding your boundaries and having a strong foundation and maybe even putting this person into place. So you're going to need to do this week. You're going to need to clarify things and clarify boundaries. And it might be a bit, not smooth or a bit annoying. And it's not going to be, as comfortable, maybe, not for you and not for them, but it has to be done. And once it's done, you're going to find yourself on the same page. So it's, every so often it helps to clarify these boundaries and clarify the expectations so that everyone's agreeing on this. In terms of context, Scorpio, the cards are flexible. It could be something personal. It could be something professional. It could be something related to your day-to-day, maybe in relation to your hobbies or people who offer you service like accountants, bankers, people like that can be represented by the dog. But regardless, really, the idea is to clarify things so that you're on the same page. And I would also take the trouble to express and articulate your expectations, Scorpio, so that there's no confusion moving forward. So it might look like a bigger deal, but maybe it's not. It depends on your specific situation. You let me know, Scorpio, how this played out for you, what the issue was, and if you're able to deal with it in like a forthright way, it would be great to hear your feedback. So very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your line of 7, and I'm really getting vibes that connect with property, investments, and your home-related expenses, maybe renting, mortgages, and things like that, because we have the fish, key, and house, and all of these could be connected with where you live and purchasing property and things like that. Of course, that is a pretty specific interpretation, so it's probably not going to apply to all Sagittarians out there. But in general, there seems to be some pretty powerful steps moving forward. You've got positive answers. You can have opportunities to engage, and it can look pretty exciting. Earlier, we have the snake, which is a quieter card compared to everything else. And on the end of the line here, we have the cross, which is sometimes a card of challenges, but I don't think in this combination. So the ship and snake is very much being discreet and cautious and using an indirect path to achieve your goal. And it's nice to see the snake and fish together because it points to someone who is clever and who knows how to manage money. So even though the snake can come across as negative, and it is most of the time, in this triplet, Sagittarius, it is really good for your business ventures, your financial goals, and going after the things that you want and actually achieving them. The garden and key is lovely for an opportunity, for a meeting that turns out to be successful. You could also break into a certain environment, into a market. It's great for jobs. It's great for projects. It's also great for collaborations and coordinations with others. So it's clear here that there's quite a successful venture that's ahead for you. And really, we can add the house with the key. Like the garden, the house is a card of location. And so you could, again, break into this space. And it could be related to your business goals or some other financial goals or other practical goals. So really supportive here. Now, these are also the cards that are that can suggest investing in property, because we have these location place cards, especially the house, with the fish and key. You know, so having the key to a house and the fish, which is about money and finances. So really, these cards can be very good for property investments and other sorts of investments. But otherwise, they're great for breaking into a space and doing well. And the cross at the end of the line is, I think, adding to the importance and significance of this. So the cross is a card of destiny, and it brings bigger questions and matters into the picture as opposed to the day-to-day. So you could be in for a major decision in terms of how you invest or what you do with your money, in terms of this property, in terms of this collaboration or this opportunity. So it could be quite a moment this week for you, Sagittarius. Now, the fish and key are lovely for money, great for income, great for financial success. Whether it's job related or not, there is a sense of well-being and success with these cards. The snake and house is a bit of a more cautionary note here. It can represent people who are dishonest and people whom you can't trust. And that is possible. I guess in any circumstance, it's possible. But it also encourages you to take it easy and take it slow. So in parallel with the successes here and the good opportunities, it's still not like a message to rush into it. It's still going to pay off to take your time and to be calculating with this. And the ship and cross can point to a very important journey ahead. This could be a significant step, a significant project. So again, this is all the more reason why you want to be strategic about it, Sagittarius, and to consider as much aspects of it as possible. But overall, it's quite bright. There is quite an opportunity for engagement, for investment, and for positive outcomes for you. And because of the fish and the other cards in general, this seems to be more focused on the practical side of your life, Sagittarius, and not so much your personal life. So we're not seeing people cards except maybe the house, but it's really not enough for like an intimate relationship or close friends and people like that. So I really think the focus is on this decision of how you're going to invest yourself, how you're going to get involved, what it does for your money and other things you're doing in this area. Let me know what you make of this, Sagittarius. I certainly hope this opportunity materializes for you. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and your feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Capricorn, here is a powerful line of 7 with a divorce combination showing up very clearly in the cards. We have the ring and scythe, and we have the man and woman. And so the relationship element is quite clear through the ring, not only the ring, but also the man and woman, because the ring can be about other commitments as well, not just to people. And then the scythe and ring is very strong. And then we've got it with the scythe and man. And so this combination here points to the separation. On top of this, we have the stork right in the middle at the top. And the stork is a card of change, so it can be a change in the relationship. Now, I have to say, we're not seeing challenging cards. So apart from this dynamic of a separation, we're not seeing pain, troubles, arguments, or anything like that. So it might be a relieving change. The moon with the ring and woman can actually point to an offer. So you could get an invitation, you could get an offer from someone, and it could be like an invitation to connect with someone. The Storkin book is a revelation, especially with the scythe, which cracks open the book. So there can be an announcement or some news or something that comes up. And then with the man at the end of the line, it can be that separation that is communicated, or it can be a surprise message from this person. The woman and book can be someone you do not know, but I think in this context, it's not likely. I think it's more about this secret that is opened up, or that the message is revealed. And then the ring and scythe is the most powerful combination, and actually the most telling in this line. So it clearly suggests there's a separation and a release. And then the man with the moon is a bit like the moon with the ring and woman. It points to an offer or an invitation. So it's interesting that we sort of have both possibilities. I have to wonder, Capricorn, if maybe you're separating from someone in favor of someone else. You're accepting one option over another. You're turning down one person over another, or an option over another. That is possible. But in terms of a more personal relationship and the possibility of a breakup, it might actually go smoothly, and it might be something that you and the other person agree on. So the context is flexible. Yes, we have these relationship cards, and they may well pass for a personal relationship, but they can apply in other contexts as well. For example, at work, you could get an offer and you could decide to make a change. You could do something similar in other contexts. You could say no to one project over another, and these options. It's also possible that a project falls through. So you might have been planning on something with someone and it doesn't work out. So there's this, break off represented here. But again, Capricorn, the cards are not dramatic at all. They just point to this change and this release. And it could be freeing for you. I mean, we have the stork and scythe, and the moon is a gentle card. So we're not seeing these challenge cards that might suggest something dramatic or like a fallout that is difficult to handle. Instead, we're seeing a release and some kind of change that seems to be positive, or at least relieving. So the cards are quite flexible, Capricorn. Apart from this clear message of a separation, I would love to hear from you if this was an outright breakup with someone, or if there was the opportunity to choose between options, to turn down one over the other. Same with people, and really enjoy the break here, or this opportunity for change. So let me know how it plays out. I look forward to your thoughts and your comments as always. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aquarius, here is your line of 7, and it's very clear that you need to let go of something that seems to be restrictive, or maybe something that isn't working right now. You need to make a break and make a change, and that is going to liberate you to move ahead with the projects that actually matter. So the line is very clear in the way that it unfolds. Here we have the lily and anchor, and both cards are very stable, very settled. It looks like you'd been doing this for a while. You'd been sticking with it for some time. But then we have the mouse and scythe. And so here there are problems and issues that come up, and it's going to be very important to remove them. I would say in even pretty sharp and even merciless way. So distractions, time wasters, resource wasters, anything that's holding you back, it needs to be removed like categorically. And then we have the rider and ship, which are great for forward movement, especially with the scythe. This points to a change of direction. And the moon is lovely for well-being and pursuing a path of, that is meaningful to you. So the moon is a gentle card. It's also a card of work and vocation sometimes. And so we see here that you're pursuing something that is more meaningful and getting out of the way something that is negative, and that's not, that's sort of draining you. So the way the cards unfold and tell the story is very straightforward, Aquarius. You need to declutter, remove things out of the way, and let go of restrictions so that you have that momentum and that energy to embrace your path and embrace your other more interesting goals. The mouse and rider is being slowed down by bumps and these issues, so really confirming that they are in the way. But what's also nice is that the rider being on the other side of the mouse tells us that you're going to overcome them. And in fact, the whole structure of the line is like this. We have the challenges here and the momentum and forward movement here, so it's clear that you're going to get past them. The anchor and ship is picking up and moving forward. So we see that you were stuck or you stayed with something and now it's time to move forward. And the lily and moon is lovely for being in tune with your vocation, with your direction, with your career, and with your purpose. So even if it's not about work or jobs and things like that, it's great to make these adjustments so that you are investing your energy in the things that are meaningful to you. So it's really nice. This line is really nice because you're going to be able to remove what is holding you back, and then it's going to give you that push forward, that momentum and that enthusiasm to pursue things. So they're lovely cards for getting out of a rut, for getting unstuck, for making positive changes, and embracing your path in a more, with more enthusiasm. And these ideas can apply in different contexts or in your life in general. We're not seeing people cards. We're not seeing relationship cards as such. So this is probably more about your activity, Aquarius. So really nice cards. So take the advice, Aquarius, get this stuff out of the way. Release yourself and move forward in these happier projects. I can also add that maybe you're traveling or going somewhere. If you have that opportunity, it might be good to do this, Aquarius. It doesn't have to be too far. It's good to make a change, take a break, and go somewhere nice. So let me know what you make of these lovely cards. I certainly hope they resonate with you in this way. As always, I look forward to your feedback and your comments. Best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Pisces, here is your line of 7. It's quite exciting. It's lovely for a relationship. It's lovely for opportunities. It's like this week you're getting out and having fun or enjoying other people's relationship connections with others. We've got the road, stork, and garden, and this is definitely a message to get out. The garden is a card of people and communities and places, and the road is about exploring, and the stork is very much about getting out and doing things and changing. So it might be a good week for getting out of the house, Pisces, changing your routine a little bit and exploring. The clover is at the top in the middle. This is one of the luckiest cards of the deck. So it's a very clear message that you're going to be having fun and you could be in for some good times, and also you could get opportunities. The bear with the ring and woman points to an important relationship with this person. It could be that she is an important person. So this could be a significant connection for you, Pisces, and it's a good idea that you tap into it. You give this person the time that they deserve, because they could come through as quite supportive. The garden and bear can be an important meeting, important people, or an important environment. You could also have some kind of influence in your surroundings, in your community, Pisces, and it's definitely a good time to step up to this. The stork and ring is great for relationships, engaging in relationships, doing things with others, and connecting. And the Road and Woman is about getting out and meeting with this person and also exploring the relationship. So really being open to others, connecting with others, spending time with them, and really being open to what these connections can bring. And also, Pisces, like we said, this could be a time for you to shine, as it were. We're not seeing the shiniest cards, but the Bear is a card of strength and power. So you could be someone who has some authority, or you have a certain standing in your community. You could also come across as someone supportive or like an expert or someone like that. And you could find that you're able to support others and connect with them in this positive way. So it's a really good week for being out there, Pisces, getting together with others, meeting with people, putting yourself out there and connecting and communicating. In terms of context, the cards are really flexible. It could be something professional. It could be something personal. It could be really any other context in your life. The idea is the same: connecting, giving and taking, being supportive and exploring. So time for a bit of a change this week, Pisces. Get out and do stuff, enjoy yourself, and come back and let me know how it plays out. So very best of luck with this. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.